Everyone, we are live. So Jean-Philippe and I, we are here for the new podcast with our new books. So building a story brand 2.0, and we are excited because we start yesterday, and we love what we say. So we're gonna do a quick recap that what we cover today, but. Today we're gonna talk about the mistake number two. Okay, but first now. So in the previous episode, we discovered the famous mistake number one that the author identified in the book. It's the fact that most brands fail to focus on the aspect of their offer that helps people survive and thrive. And we talk about, the pyramid, the Maslow pyramid, the hierarchy of need. So this is something that we have to make sure that our customer brain, we are going to reach him constantly because his brain is always filtering information to find the things that help them, let's say, to eat, to feel safe, to build a relationship, to find meaning in life. Okay, so if our message doesn't address any of these basic needs, so their brain simply ignore us. So this is something that we that was a real wake up call for us, and we learned that if the brain doesn't uh, is not receiving those information, so probably you're gonna look elsewhere, and you have to talk about those needs. You don't have to talk about, let's say, your product, or okay, so you have to talk about what for them they are doing in the hierarchy of needs of Mr. Maslow. um, that was a real wake up call for us. And because I realized that we spend so much time talking about ourselves, we talk about our product, we talk about our processes, and we forgot to talk about the customer. So, exactly when we use, let's say, Tupperware as an example, so our company had big problem, okay, and one of them, it's because we talk about our product, okay, instead of talking about the customer problem. It's painful, but it's real. It's a good lesson. So today we're moving on to the second mistake, and this one may be even more subtle because it could be devastating for our business. So let's start. What Jean-Philippe is going to explain. What is the second mistake?
Yes, absolutely. So let's dive in. So here it is. The second mistake for company about like branding and marketing is when they talk about their products and services, okay, is that they force their customer to burn too many calories to understand their effort, which means that there is too much, okay? Get the visual of you dump something on somebody, okay, you dump like on them a lot of information, okay. So we're gonna keep going with the calorie metaphor, okay. So the author Miller used that analogy, okay. So imagine that every time that you talk to a customer, okay, about your products or a potential recruits, okay, but while you talk to them, they have to run on a treadmill the entire time you're talking. Okay. So what do you think that will happen? Well, obviously, okay, how long do you think that they're going to last before they tune out? Well, I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be very long because they have to concentrate on you and burn too much calorie and being exhausted. So that is exactly what is happening to your customer brain when you bombard them with all information that are confusing. Okay, so their brain, okay, are burning energy to try to process and pick up what are the right information about what you're saying. Okay, so for them, doing that work, okay, is too much. Okay, so if you're not saying something that is useful to their survival, remember, survival is the first level of the Maslow pyramid, okay, and you're not saying it quickly, their brain is burning too much calorie and it tunes out. So here is not too much information and say it in a way that is quick, fast, and good. Okay. So it's really a matter of survival. I don't know if you guys remember many weeks ago when Maria, Marie Pierre, and I started the book Let Them, we really talked about how our brain hasn't evolved a lot since like the caveman. So we are still in a primitive brain, and our survival is so important, yes, for our security and physically, but it is also like with information that we receive. So our brain is designed to conserve its resources. Okay, so processing useless information consumes energy, and consuming energy is dangerous when it comes to survival. Okay, so the brain will actually ask itself and this question, and probably it's the most important things that we are going to say today. So when you speak to somebody, place yourself in the shoes of your client and hear that question. Is this message going to help me survive or thrive? Okay, let me repeat it. Is this message going to help me survive or thrive? If the answer is yes, the customer will make the effort to listen to you. But if not, he'll ignore it and he really just tune out. So is it as simple as that? Okay. So this is why the author Miller emphasized the simplicity so much. Okay. He said that communication should be so simple that a person doesn't have to burn two mental calories to understand what you are saying. Okay, so to get this right, you need to get to look at what is the problem that you have in your businesses. Okay, so we have so much to say, okay, and we end up saying too much, and by saying too much we exhaust our customer and we force them to make effort, and unfortunately they leave. So when you leave a customer, when people get maybe like to your VIP group, you get in touch with them and they don't follow with you, ask yourself, did I dump too many information on them? Okay. So what is a good mantra that the author repeats throughout the book? Okay. He says, if you confuse, you lose. If you confuse, you lose. So if you confuse people, you lose them. Okay. So clarity is the key. And the problem is not that businesses create what Miller, the problem is what the author says. Well, let me just say it right. Okay. So the problem is that most businesses create what the author calls noise. Noise is anything that isn't useful to the customer. So it's dumping too much information. So he said that noise will actually kills businesses, will kill idea, will kill the products, and it will kill much more than taxes, recession, lawsuit, or other things. Okay, so it's a strong statement, but it's true. Okay, because marketing and design and advertising, it's about having a clear message. So keep remember like that metaphor of, are you, when you're saying things to your customer, are you making them running on a treadmill, or are you just walking with them and giving them like as simple as far as possible information to them to understood?
Oh my God, Jean-Philippe, I saw sometimes some conversation I had with my customer at the store. And let's say they say, I'm looking for that type of container. Okay, you have, let's say, five options. And so I start with option number one, number two, number three, number four, number five. I want to give a good service. And, I'm with him, okay? And I saw the fatigue and he said, okay, you know what? I'm going to think about it and I'll be back, and he never came another time. So sometimes too much information kill the, let's say, the cell. Huh? So we saw it often, and yeah. So Okay, we're learning, we're learning, we're learning. So I am going to give you an example of the power of simplicity. So I'm going to talk about the aquarium example. So that's a fascinating story. So this is the story of Spectrum Brands. So it's a company that sells aquarium and fish supplies. So they had a problem because they were selling well aquarium for people who loves aquarium, but they could not reach the family market. Okay, so of course you want to have more customer, and they had a good product, but their message was not speaking to families. So they asked to the author Miller to work on them to resolve that problem. And he gave them a simple piece of advice. He said, okay, you just have to add three words on your packaging. Okay. So the three words is kids love aquariums. Simple. Kids love aquariums. So of course they were skeptical. Three words, of course, it's too simple. But the author explained them that the reasoning behind this advice. Okay, when parents, let's say they walk into a pet store, okay, they are looking for something special for their children and something that the children will love. Okay, it's actually a survival need. Okay, that need, it's to create family connection, to express love, to build a tribe. So that's, of course, belonging to the Maslow pyramid hierarchy of needs. So parents wants to make their children happy, create memories, and strengthen family bonds. So exactly, and by simply adding the three words, kids love aquariums, Spectrum position its product as the solution to that need. So parents are not really coming for looking for an aquarium, but when they see the packaging and they are looking for something that it's going to uh, bring happiness in the family, so the aquarium becomes one way to achieve it. Okay, so they test the message in the market, and you know what, they double their sales. So it's huge just by adding three words to the new product, to the product. It stay the same. They don't spend multi-million dollar advertising campaign. Okay, they just, let's say, put a sticker on it. Okay, you don't have to redesign your packaging. Three words, and this bring clarity to the brand. It's not something that you need a lot of investment. Okay, so it's a concrete formula that works, and the moral of the story is that you don't need to spend too much on advertising or to grow your business. You just need a few clear message that customer understand immediately. So this is what I love about this, and we can apply this in our own business. So we just have to be creative and find new ways. Let's say add a couple of words, and we're gonna have, of course, more example in the book. But I love what I heard today about this example.
Yeah. And I don't know if I send you that real Sylvain. If not, I'm going to send you right after. They were talking about the rule of three in marketing. And while you were saying that, I did remember in that reels, they say that the slogan, okay, of many company are only three words. And I was thinking about, let's say, McDonald, okay? Do you know what their slogan is?
I'm loving it.
I'm loving it. So obviously, as like a parent or everybody else in the street, you're seeing a McDonald's and like you see the slogan, I'm loving it. Obviously, like your brain is now focused on let's go there. Okay, so I just realized that yes, it is powerful. Sometimes just three words.
12 pouces, $5.
Douce, yeah, yeah, yeah. Subway, douce, like that. So now let's look at like our example, and obviously we are going to work throughout the podcast about our company Tupperware, but it's applicable to like any MLM that you are in. So let's take the Tupperware example, okay, and see if we can have like those words. Okay, so this will be a good exercise. So as we stated, like Tupperware made the error, okay, that they only talk about themselves. They talk about, yes, the quality of our container, the network of our consultant, their heritage. But what was happening there is that they were creating noise, and that noise is what like leave the company, okay, close to a bankruptcy. Okay, so what is happening is that by having all of those noise, okay, they were creating effort for the customer to burn some calorie, and the customer had to think, okay, do I need container? Which one? What for? And this is complicated, okay, because they didn't find the answer. And the result is we all know that people are going to IKEA, Amazon, the dollar store, yeah, Dollarama, the dollar store. So because the message need to be simple. So if we try to apply, okay, the logic to of the aquarium that in the example that Sylvain just shared with us, okay, the customer is a family, okay, so not a food storage enthusiastic, okay, so they need to save time to avoid wasting food, and they want to eat healthy. This is really what it's all about, because those are related to the level of the Maslow pyramid. So if we try to add just words, save time, save money, well, okay, it's 4 words, but like you guys get it, okay, or less waste, or more peace of mind. Or if I don't know if you remember, like a couple of years ago, probably before COVID, they get with the slogan for Tupperware, confidence becomes you. Okay, that really talk about who you want to become, okay, with that company. Okay, so by saying, okay, those words, save time, save money, or less waste, or more peace of mind, you now addressing more like several needs that we are looking in the Maslow pyramid. You're talking about health, you're talking about time, you're talking about the sense of accomplishment, you're talking about being a good parent, you're talking about like taking care of the environment, about a tribe, and this is really powerful. Okay, so the key is to understand that the message shouldn't be about, like for us, the container. The message should be about what the container will allow people to do. Okay, so it's the story brand principle. You don't sell the product, you sell the solution to a problem. Okay, as the company, they didn't sell the aquarium. Okay, they sell children happiness. Okay, so we don't sell plastic container. We need to get in our mind that we sell a simpler life, and I really love that. I think we need to keep that in mind, Sylvain. Okay, so this is the genius of the story brand. That our customer is our hero. We are the guide, and the mistake that most brands do is that they think that they are the hero talking about their product, but no, it's the opposite.
Yes. So we talk in the first podcast about mistake number one. Today we talk about mistake number two. But do we avoid falling into this trap? Okay. So he said that the author said, you know what? You have to tell stories, okay, or you have to tell narrative formula that it's going to attract your customer. Okay, he say that story is the most powerful tool we can use to organize and communicate our offer to, so that people don't have to burn too many calories trying to understand us. So uh, of course he speak from experience, because he went through transformation himself. Just a reminder that he write a book and he sell, let's say, 10,000 books of his first book, and then he decided to study what the narrative formula. So let's say all the script from the series or the movie, okay, they're all following the same script. And he decided to learn about it and to apply to his company. And guess what? His book became a success on the chart. So he became the New York Times bestseller for nearly 1 year. So this is amazing.
Yeah. So a narrative formula can transform everything, okay, in marketing because it aligns with the structure of our brain. So let's remember that our brain is still in the primitive like state, okay, and we need to keep that in mind when we talk to people, okay. So when we tell a story, our brain doesn't have to work hard to understand it, okay, because story and information are in two different parts of the brain, okay? It will naturally follow along. So what is the definition of a story? Okay, so a story identifies an ambition or a goal that a hero wants to accomplish. Okay, then the story defines the challenges that prevent the hero from getting what they want. And finally, they provide a plan to help the hero overcome those challenges so they can survive and thrive. Okay? So every movies in Hollywood, every books that you may have like read, follow, okay, those that are glorious book that are on the chart, follow that formula of the story. Okay, and this is exactly what we will be covering in the next podcast. Okay, we will cover the 7 point SB story brand for framework, okay, formula, and the author emphasizes that it isn't an art, okay, it's not a fantasy, it's a concrete formula. Okay, so it has been tested, okay, for many years, as I said, in playwright, in screenwriting, okay, and it's not new. It's just that we need to apply it to our business because we connect with people. So into our next episode, we are going to get into like the first point of the 7B7, well, the SB7 framework. Okay, we will discover like the first one that is about the character and how we can apply it to our business in MLM. Okay, so no matter that we are running a small businesses or $1 million dollar brand, okay, confusion, okay, cost us a customer. So it's really important to understand that our message, the clarity, the simplicity is what will get us new customer and obviously like dollar and businesses and like increase in our future. So ask yourself, okay, that question for today. How many of our customer or how many of our consultant can't explain how we help our customers survive and thrive? And if like you think of, oh, I'm pretty sure that most of my consultants don't know what is our mission, how to articulate it. Well, this is an indicator that you need to help them clarify what the message is. So this is what we're going to ask yourself in the next episode. On that, thank you so much for being with us. And we're seeing you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow with Maria and Marie-Pierre. Bye, everyone.